I haven't looked at the velocity. I'm trying to look on that right now. I see a lot of wind, but I don't see any spin going on right there. So,
and there's also some pretty dramatic numbers on there, but I imagine that probably isn't reaching the ground. The 70 and 80 mile an hour stuff is way, way high up in the atmosphere.
It is. There's a new severe thunderstorm warning just south of Americus there, so that one is running underneath between Americus and Albany. Here's what we're going to do, folks. We're going to, it's a little different situation than, like, you know, we have tornado here, tornado there, and we're zooming in on streets and everything. It's a blanket severe thunderstorm warning for the whole line. So everybody knows what to expect as this is coming across, okay, from west to east. And we can keep talking about it over and over again, but we're saying the same things. So it just continues, just hunker down, wait for it to come on through, and hopefully we'll get this on out of here before long. What we're going to do, right when that comes out, I was about to say something. Wait a minute, hold on.
So we sat a
severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible, Crawford, Monroe, Taylor.
And I don't know if you heard Sierra in your ear too, but there is a road blocked in, did you say Upson County State Road? Yeah, State Route 74 in Upson County, some road blocked, I assume, by trees down over there, so probably some wind damage as it came through.
Okay, we are going to stay. I was just about to say we were going to dip out for a second, but I guess we're going to stay here for a second. I mean, it'll say a tornado possible, but I think it's literally just covering the bases in case something were to pop up. It doesn't mean that there's one right there. So again, all these warnings have the same verbiage, which is tornado possible with them. What do we have here? All right, so Upson County, Parkway Drive, debris, trees, branches, all lanes affected. Expected clear today. Okay, I'm not sure what that part means right there, but this is, you know, going right along with all these other warnings we've been seeing up and down the line, up in North Georgia the same way, is the damage of, you know, straight line winds with trees, power lines down, power outages because of a lot of that. All right, let me get that updated there. And again, this stuff has got some real giddy up on it. So again, the winds in there could be 60, 70 miles per hour, but the storms themselves are moving at around 55 miles per hour. All right, so we're not far in a little bit from eventually getting Bibb County in the game here, but notice how all this is going toward the northeast and then kind of lifting up here. So this is going to kind of fly up and over, and then I think still the main stuff for Macon, Warner Robins kind of areas is what is down toward the south there as that comes on across. Taylor County again with some really heavy rain and some really gusty winds about to move into Butler here in just a second. Everybody else is quiet. So guys in the booth, if we can, let's still go back to that plan because we need to regroup and see if we can get some new information coming in because we do now? Okay, all right. Well, we're going to stay with it for a little bit longer here. All right, good to know. Again, if you do start to get damage out there or any pictures or any reports, you can go to our Facebook page, is one of the best places, and just plop it down right there. We're monitoring that. And then, of course, news at 13wmaz.com. You can email that stuff too. And then the Your Take, right, on the, is it still Your Take? Oh, there's no Your Take anymore? It shows how much I keep up with what's going on. I'm just in the Weather Center all the time, you know. All right, so just stick with Facebook there. Forget Your Take. You didn't even hear that. All right, so there we go. Taylor County with this one right here, starting to move on in a little bit closer. This is one that we've seen a few little wrinkles in, a couple little kinks in. Doesn't mean that a tornado would pop up, but it's something to watch in there. There's another little notch here. And then definitely when you see things bow out as you go farther toward the south, some gusty winds there. Macon, Warner Robins, Perry, everybody pretty quiet right now, just kind of in a holding pattern. Any of this rain that you're seeing out there now is not thunderstorm rain. That's just that stuff we've had today that's just been moving south to north. That is not at all related to these thunderstorms. They're going to come in and blow that out by the time they come in. So we're looking for any sort of weakening, any sign that says this thing is kind of calming down a little bit. And if you look, this would be an interesting, whoa, what is that? Well,
a lot of stuff going on up in North Georgia. A lot of these.
North Georgia, yeah.
Actually, this is closer to us. This is Putnam County.
Well, you know, when they start with not confirmed, not for meteor release, I guess I can't read this out on the air then, right? You didn't hear this. It's not for our area right here. All right, so it was just something about some damage somewhere else. All right, so let's look at the big picture of the severe thunderstorm warning situation. Just look at that, how far up and down it goes. Almost one constant warning from Virginia straight down through Tennessee, North Carolina, all the way through Georgia, down through the panhandle of Florida to the Gulf. The whole line is one severe thunderstorm warning. And again, at least it's going to push through here and clear out, and we will be done with it. It's just going to take a couple hours for this to come on through.
I think a lot of people today, especially to our west, I know there was some rough storms over Alabama, but the number of tornadoes was not all that high today. And just given how some of the data looked to start the day, it's kind of good that we're just dealing with severe thunderstorm warnings. Those can still pack a punch, but not as bad as today really could have been. I want to show you one thing. We've been talking about that storm that's about to move into Butler County, and hail is probably our smallest threat that we have today, but you can kind of see it on the radar in 3D. You see these reds suspended up in the air a little bit. This is going to be moving into Butler here probably within the next 15 minutes or so. So maybe some pea-sized hail, nothing that's going to cause any major issues out there, but just something a little bit different as compared to some of the other storms that we're watching out there.
Yeah, not really huge hail producers, have they?
No.
These, yeah. This is mainly a wind event with all this coming down. And I'm looking at some of just the little spots here. If you were in Jones County, again, there's another razor edge right there of some gusty winds. So through Juliet, heading in, Round Oak to Gray, through Bolingbroke, definitely the 75-475 split right now. Notice how it just kind of bulges out right there. That's going to be some really strong wind coming through there. A little bit of a pendant keeps wanting to hang down there toward Crawford, but we haven't seen anything spinning there. But by far, you can see the really big punch heading in toward Butler right now. A ton of rain with this right here.
And there is some weak rotation on that storm too on velocity.
Well, hold on. Severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible, Macon County, Taylor, Macon, Sumter, Taylor, until 7:15 for that cell I was just talking about. So they go with another warning. That one is for that part down here. Remember I was telling you how this was really starting to bow out? This is going to head in toward Montezuma, Marshallville in a little bit. So that southern part that was moving out of the Columbus area that was saying we got to keep an eye on that as it moves east-northeast is starting to kind of move more into our area now. It's coming on up. Again, no tornadoes in this stuff, which is fantastic. There's a tornado watch that goes until midnight for all of central Georgia, and we're scanning up and down, always looking, seeing if we see anything in there that jumps out at us. And in Taylor County, I mean, just don't see anything, so it doesn't hurt to keep looking.
Well, that's what's tough about it too, because you see those greens and reds next to each other all up and down the line, but one of those can get tight enough for just a brief second that the radar might not even catch, and then you just go back to
look at the wind coming into Jasper County right there. That's a lot of wind coming in right there. So we're going to see definitely some gusty winds, and again, we talk about the straight line winds versus spinning. Obviously, you don't want a tornado. Nobody wants that. You'll take a severe thunderstorm warning over a tornado warning. But if you have winds that are 60 to 70 miles per hour, that can still do some damage. Yes, was someone trying to talk to me? Okay. All right, we're going to go for a couple more minutes here, and then we're going to dip out for a little bit and take a break. Because again, every time I try to do that, some beep goes off. What is that one? That's the same thing we just saw, right? I think it just now beeped in the studio. Because we're dealing with a different situation than a tornado situation where there's like, here it is, it's right here in this neighborhood, and I can follow it and track it and all that kind of stuff. This is a very just broad brush where it's the whole line is a severe thunderstorm warning. So I don't really have new information to tell you because nothing's really changing. It's just moving in. So if you're in any of these areas, you know you're going to have gusty winds and heavy rain for a little bit and a little bit of a lightning show. But unless we see some sort of rotation, tornado stuff going on in there, I don't have anything really I can kind of jump in on and kind of focus in on this one area other than just little bowing segments in a line here or there like what we're seeing in Taylor County right there. Jones County, again, western part, as heading in toward Round Oak, just came through Juliet. Again, that's going to be a pretty quick going from no rain to rain and some strong winds. That is cancels severe thunderstorm. let's see, continues severe thunderstorm warning. Oh, okay, for Taylor until 7. It canceled for Chattahoochee. There are so many things going on in here. I mean, you can imagine that Peachtree City's hands are full. It's just, there's no weak spot in the line as far as warnings are concerned. All right, so there's the overview. Severe thunderstorm warnings up and down the line. And this will continue moving east. We're hoping for some weakening. I like what we're seeing so far, at least, that there aren't any tornado warnings, and we hope that trend continues. We'll take a break. I think we'll try to jump back at the top of the hour unless there is some other reason to get in. This is just going to keep moving off toward the east. We'll see you a little bit later. Okay, guys, new information coming in. A new severe thunderstorm warning is out, of course, with the wording tornado possible. They all have had that today, and they will continue to have that. And this one goes for Crawford, Bibb, Peach, Houston, Twiggs County. So this one's right through the core of central Georgia, and it is with that part that's been looking squirrely coming out of Taylor County, right through there where that little notch is there. I haven't seen anything that's full-blown rotating, but of course the wording is tornado possible. It is not a tornado warning, though. But you can see right in that little notchy area right there, that's something for us to keep an eye on. If that continues, it would go through Crawford County into South Macon, probably Hartley Bridge Road area, and then make its way toward Dry Branch like this, if it continues on this path that it's been going on. Let me see if I can get it, back it up a little bit here, and we can get an idea. You can see the movement. Yeah, it looks like it wants to, it's definitely notching out right there, coming into Crawford south of Roberta. Now, if that holds, then that will be something to keep an eye on here. Let me look at the velocity on that. Not seeing anything too crazy, but you can definitely see things wrinkled up just a little bit there. All right, so that warning was just issued a moment ago, right before we just came on the air here. Let me zoom back out. That one goes until 7:40. Is that what I read? It says it's 7:45. And that's Bibb, Crawford, Houston, Peach, Taylor, Twiggs until 7:45. So this one will take us right through the core of central Georgia over the next hour. It's probably about how long it's going to take for this to come through. Let me see on the movement on this. Most of this has been 55 miles per hour. This one says moving east at 60. Wow. This storm is flying. The storm itself is moving at 60 miles per hour. And it's the one that's about to roll through Crawford. I'm not leaving everybody else out. You can see Macon County, severe thunderstorm warning there. The whole line has a severe thunderstorm warning on it, except, look at that, Austin, that's interesting. Right through there. The first void we've seen all day with no severe thunderstorm warning. Congratulations, Jones County. You're the first spot in this entire line all the way across that does not have a severe thunderstorm warning. That's interesting right there. But this is a severe thunderstorm warning. So that means that some of this right here is breaking up. That would be a great sign if this were to continue right here. So this has dropped below severe limits. That's news. Monroe County, Upson County, you are in the clear now, by the way. So is Jasper County, pretty much. This has all been moving away here. So we're going to start doing some all clears as we go, but we have not gotten to where Macon and Warner Robins area can be all clear because it is just now moving in to that area. All right, again, checking velocity. Seeing if we see anything crazy looking. Definitely got a notch there, but not anything that seems to be rotating. So again, a day that has seen mainly severe thunderstorm warnings. And there's another break right there. That's interesting. All of this has been one solid severe thunderstorm warning. All up and down through the Athens area, not warned. South of Eatonton, also not warned. So this is hopefully going to the plan that we were talking about where this would come in and start to fall apart. The only part of the plan that it hasn't gone by is the timing. It really wasn't supposed to get here on the models till about 7:30 or 8 o'clock. Well, clearly it had different plans. It's going here a little bit faster. Sierra, what'd you say? Okay. I'm going to take us out for just a second here. We may come back in just a little bit. I'm going to get some new information, but right now we're going to start, I believe, Jeopardy right now. Is that right? And then I'll come back. By the way, we're continuing streaming online and on Facebook Live. Go over there and you can catch us there as well. Okay. Are we streaming now? Is that what we're doing here? We are now streaming on our website here. And I think this is going to Facebook Live as well. So if you are on TV, and we are now over on this platform here, and if we need to go back to TV, we will. We're just not dealing with a full-blown tornado outbreak kind of thing here, so it's kind of like still gusty winds, still some damaging winds that can be had out there, but it's just a different kind of animal as far as having something for TV that you can just keep with new information. That's just you're just kind of waiting for this stuff to come across. I don't really have any street spotting I can do like in a tornado situation, you know, where you just kind of keep bouncing around from one to the other. Right now, we're just kind of monitoring for anybody who is, clearly a lot of people concerned right now with all this coming through. We're waiting on damage reports for some of the places out west, and we've seen damage up and down the line, North Georgia, with some of these warned areas where there have been trees down, power lines down, power outages we were just hearing about a moment ago. Georgia Power reporting in Macon County, I believe, some places down that way with some power outages. Again, each time these severe thunderstorm warnings get issued, it's with the verbiage tornado possible. That is just in case one were to spin up, because sometimes we'll see these things, kind of rotate just for a little bit briefly, and then the next scan will go around, and by the time, we get another scan at it and look at it, it's gone. So that's the reason why you mention it in there, just in case there's a little brief spin for just a moment. Otherwise, it is straight line winds. I've got to be honest, I'm really liking the way this whole thing is looking. And sometimes you have to stand back for some perspective here and get an idea. Let me take the lightning off there so we can kind of.
Well, but even with the lightning on, watch North Georgia. It disappears.
Well, that's actually a good point. Let's leave that on then. What in the world?
Tornado watch.
Is that all that was?
Yeah, cancellations and continuations of a bunch of counties.
Let's see. I don't see any of our counties have been. Well, Upson got cleared. It won't be long. Monroe will get cleared. Jasper will eventually get cleared before long, but they have not been yet. So that was what that was. All right, so yeah, so this map tells a story. I mean, look how quick all that just went whoop and weakened down. Man, it wouldn't hurt anybody's feelings to see that exact same thing happen here, and that's what we were hoping would happen, that as it came in, it would start to fall apart. And I'm seeing some different spots in here. Where the lightning has been coming down. Intensity's not quite there. Just for a moment, I will take the lightning off and zoom in. Yeah, let me take it to that to the actual Jeffersonville radar. Zoom that out. We can get a better idea of the movement of all that. All right, so you don't see a really defined straight line. You just have little segments that kink out just a little bit here or there. Again, one gap noticeable, Jones County right now, what is heading into Baldwin, so that's not warned. That's good news. Doesn't mean that you're not going to have some gusty winds and some heavy rain. You're still going to have all that that's going to come through. But as far as the the punch, that's not there. Leaving Taylor County, going through Crawford, again, that is heading in toward Bibb. Now, if you're in North Bibb or in anywhere north Macon heading toward the Bibb-Monroe line, there's a ton of heavy rain out there, but that is not warned. All right, it's because of this bowling ball right here that's coming across south of Roberta. That coming across is the one that has the National Weather Service attention right there. So there will be some strong winds with that as it comes across. And again, some of these straight line winds we've seen 60, back west especially, 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Most of the wording on these now is 60 mile per hour winds. But some of the stuff back in Alabama, they were throwing it out there, this is not your garden variety severe thunderstorm warning, these 70 mile per hour winds. So Macon County right now, you can see a sharp defined line right out here. That's going to show you where the gusty winds and the heavy rain all just kind of come in, just like that. And just when it starts very sharp like that, it's just kind of, boom, it's on.
And something to add too about that one storm that ended up being warned all the way over to Bibb and Twiggs County. So we were talking about how any kind of rotation, if there is going to be any, is going to be very short-lived. We'll back this up to right when this tornado or this severe thunderstorm warning came out, and you can very briefly see that green and red kind of coupled together, but just as quickly as it shows up, it goes away. And that's really great news. I mean, if we're going to have any kind of rotations out there, hopefully they are not long-lasting enough or strong enough to produce any tornadoes. We have not had one tornado warning in Georgia today. All of them have been severe thunderstorm warnings all up and down the line. And then we go up and down the line again just on velocity. You can see where you're seeing less bright colors up here in parts of Jones County. That's why they've canceled that severe thunderstorm warning. It's not as gusty up there. Still seeing some pretty strong winds, though, about to come into parts of Macon County. There you see right just south of Montezuma some bright greens there. But yes, just straight line winds so far this evening, which is just great news. They can still pack a punch, but not nearly as bad as a tornado. That's
exactly right. Yeah, I usually kind of think of it as like a sort of similar to a low-end tornado. It's just instead of after it's over, instead of seeing the debris in circles, it's laying straight over because the winds are just punching straight in one direction instead of spinning. So again, Macon, Warner Robins area, Fort Valley, the heavy rain and wind about to come in on you right now. Most of the heavy stuff is all Crawford County right now, though, with this little wad right here that's got a little bit more attitude than the rest of it, and it's just south of Roberta. But again, that little notch right in there, again, is something we continue to check on, and we will check it again right here. It doesn't hurt as many times as we can. Yeah, kind of wanting to ball up a little bit right there, isn't it?
We'll see if it can last more than one scan.
That's the thing, though. These things are so brief, they pop up, and then the next time we come around the horn again, it's not there again. So I'd definitely be in a safe place, though, still, if I were, Crawford County south of Roberta. There's a new scan coming in, still not tightened up, which is okay. No crying here. It's fine that it doesn't want to really tighten up into an actual tornado. We don't want that to happen. So the gusty winds, you handle that, you get through. We just don't want this thing starting to turn into something else. And really, I don't recall of any of them that we've seen today, even back in Alabama or any of those. None of them really had a real tight couplet that just said, whoa, really. Look at that. We've seen some impressive ones, before, but not really today.
Which is, surprising, because when we were looking to forecast this event, the wind shear looked pretty impressive. It was the instability that we knew would probably be the limiting factor. So we had a ton of wind shear to work with. And today, even in that enhanced risk area out to our west, where we thought the ingredients would really come together, it just didn't. A lot of damaging winds over there, but just not a lot of a tornado threat. But again, we're not complaining about that. That's great. Damaging winds are bad enough. And unfortunately, some people did lose their lives in Alabama today. So it's not like it wasn't a bad day over there, but not as bad as it could be.
I hate that for those folks over there. Anytime we get a severe weather event on this scale magnitude, sometimes that's how it goes. So I want to do an all clear here if I can. Start doing some of that. That would be a great feeling out there. It's definitely, as much as we've been ramping up to this thing, I think it would be safe to say that if you were to the west of that line that I just drew right there, so Jasper County, you're done. Monroe County, you are done. When I say done, you still have rain. You may have some lightning strikes, maybe a little gusty winds, but the severe threat is over. Same thing for Upson County. Taylor County, at least Butler West, is pretty much done. Crawford, you're still in the thick of it right now, and everything out in front is still fair game for storms to roll in, and some of those could be severe, so that's something that we'll still have to watch. Another little wave down here as you get into Macon County, and you can see where it kind of bulges out right through there. That's going to be where some strong winds are punching through with a bow echo right there. One other thing we can do right here, we can do the entire line. Whoa, that is Putnam, severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible, same words, for that one little piece of what came out of Jasper earlier. So that's for that right there. So that's heading toward Lake Oconee right now. So that's a new one that came out. Still loving seeing all these spots that don't have warnings. That's amazing. And the parts that are warned are in some big polygons. They're just kind of like, covering a whole lot of real estate. And of course, the biggest of which.
It's a pretty decent notch, though, going through parts of Crawford.
Still nothing really on velocity screaming at us, and that's all right. Just hold this way. Just don't start spinning any more than what that little notch is indicating right there. So that's Crawford County. Yeah, again, that in a line like this, that's exactly what we're looking for, to see if that starts coming around and starts forming into a tornado right there. If it were to happen on the trajectory that it has, it would kind of roll like this, which seems to be an area of some of our last few severe weather systems. It seems to have clipped that Hartley Bridge Road area, 75-475 split. But good news, no tornado warning for that, so that's fantastic. We'll stay with it as it is and hope that it doesn't get any stronger. But again, you're definitely going to have some gusty winds as it comes on through. Let's just zoom in anyway on some of these spots here in Crawford. Even though it's just a notch, there's nothing really fully rotating right there. Start to get in a little bit closer. And you can treat it as though it is and just kind of hunker down anyway. Causey Road area. As you start to get over Bostic Road, and again, it won't be much longer after a lot of this, it will start to leave Crawford County heading into southwest Bibb. I think all of that should stay south of Lizella, it looks like. Now again, if you are in North Bibb, North Macon, West Macon, Lake Tobo, you're getting a lot of heavy rain with all of this, but this is not severe. There's a part of the polygon here, but it's because of that down there. This is not severe up here. So any of this stuff in North Macon that we're seeing spreading on down into West Macon, it's just heavy rain and maybe some gusty winds, but no severe threat. And it won't be much longer. It's going to be a while before we can clear Bibb County all, but before long we'll start being able to clear parts of North and West Macon. This is for...
That's a big one.
That is a big one. Severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible. Dooley, Houston, Macon, Peach, Sumter, Twiggs until 8 o'clock. Let me go back out and see that one. Yeah, that's it. That's a huge polygon down here. So most of the big threat now that we're seeing seems to be from around what's going to be South Macon southward. That's where the strongest part of this line is now. So it's going to go Bibb, Peach, Houston, all the way down. So running up and down 75, once you leave out of Macon, heading on down toward Dooley County would not be a good ride in a little bit, because this will be coming straight across the interstate, and you're talking about a heck of a crosswind coming across that interstate from west to east right there. So that's what that new warning is, and that one goes until 8, I believe, is what that one said.
Yeah, and the velocity mode stuff on this is fairly impressive. I doubt all this is really making it to the ground, because you're looking pretty high up in the atmosphere, but when you just query it, 70 miles an hour, 66 miles an hour, and that's why they want to give everyone plenty of lead time on this, because this is some serious straight line wind. You don't need a tornado to have some wind damage out here this evening. Yeah,
and you could easily, even if you back down that a little bit, you could easily have 60 plus actually on the ground with these storms. So let's do a little tracking here, and I will take the entire line and we will move it in this direction at around, I think that says 60, that's close enough. All right, so this will give you an idea of some of the timing here as we go on through the next 30 minutes or so. This is going to be Fort Valley at around 7, well, that's around now then, isn't it? Yeah, let me move this out of the way. I was going to try to move it. Whoop, I'm drawing another track. You get the idea. It's moving this way. So again, there's another little notch right there. There's that one we were talking about. This is not a true notch more, this is a bulge right here in Macon County. That's going to be some gusty winds coming through Montezuma right now. Again, all of this severe thunderstorm warning that just kind of covers the whole line. But again, the good news, as we look up toward the north, yeah, there's still a severe thunderstorm warning as you get into parts of Putnam County, heading toward Lake Oconee right here, but there's a part here where it's not even warned. So that has weakened down. We've seen lightning come down a lot, except for once you start to get Crawford County and back toward Taylor County, where all this is coming from. And you can tell the difference. I mean, if you look at how scattered this looks right here, you got a little light rain out in front and everything. Look how sharp the edges are on this stuff right here. So this has a boom, just a bigger hit when it comes in as far as the intensity of the winds. Definitely much stronger in these areas.
Yeah, if you live in Marshallville, a little bit south of Marshallville, that punch that's coming up right about here, that I imagine if we were going to see a gust above 60 miles an hour, closer to 70, that's looking a little gnarly there.
Mm-hmm. And again, in all these little wrinkles in here, that's where we would look to see if we see any rotation, any spin, and we haven't been seeing it. I'll check again down that way. I mean, so far so good. None of these have really had any sort of just screaming tornado signatures with them, which is okay. All right, put the loop on there. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, you can definitely see that right through there. Montezuma through this area, right through there to Marshallville, just kind of a real push of wind right there. This stuff here coming out of Crawford into Bibb does not have the exact same notch look that it had earlier, but I definitely think still the winds are really strong up that way. So the main part of that warning for the Macon area is pretty much, it's below my arm right here. All this other stuff up here is just heavy rain, some gusty winds, maybe some lightning with that as well. But the main reason for this warning is this part right here that is heading into South Bibb and moving eventually across the I-75 over toward Wilkes County if it holds like that. What is that one? That is a storm report, Dawson County. You know, we still haven't seen, which is great, I haven't seen any damage reports for our area.
Aside from that Upson one.
Right.
That's it.
So this is kind of going to plan here. That this is, it doesn't have the same thump that it did out west. That is quite a notch down there in Macon County now, but still nothing there.
Not a lot of lightning with that notch either. You know, sometimes if you're going to get a strong updraft, you can see that increase in lightning, and we haven't seen that on either of those, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, let's zoom out again and it is interesting though, if you follow that storm all the way, you can see it's had a little bit of an S shape to it the whole way up with the most pronounced notch actually now.
Yeah.
So again, if you're in West Macon right now, really sharp edge, this is going to be some gusty winds and heavy rain coming down. Monroe County, again, you're clear. Again, clear of severe threat. You still have rain. Jasper, Monroe, Upson is clear. Taylor is clear. Crawford, almost clear. We're almost done in Crawford. Half of Macon County is clear, but the eastern half still definitely well within the high wind threat. See, that one also not for our area there. So we have been hearing, the only power outages, of course I haven't checked the Georgia power map recently, but the only ones that I've seen, I think was Macon County a little bit earlier, which makes sense with this thing that's been rolling through here. And Taylor County too for Butler area, is that what we heard? Okay. All right, so things continue to roll on. Again, from here down, all through this squirrely stuff, that's the strongest stuff we can find out there right now. So if I'm not, I mean, Lake Oconee has that one severe thunderstorm warning up that way, but I'm not really focusing in on you, Gray and Milledgeville, because there's nothing to see here, as they say. It's just, it's not severe there, so that's good. Let's see. Fort Valley ought to be getting some pretty heavy rain and wind right about now, too. Let's see. And a little bit of a lightning show. I would say if there was an area that concerns us most, it is what's in Macon County in Marshallville right here. Again, it's not fully rotating, but there's a little bit of a notch there. And still don't see anything tightening up. That is, that's a Columbus report. Again, Putnam County with that severe thunderstorm warning up there, but that is already past Eatonton, the main part of it already over Lake Oconee. So this is between Sinclair, Oconee. This is going to roll across, although it's already outrun its polygon here, so I don't know if they're going to reissue that one or not.
Pretty soon we'll be able to see, hopefully we can see pretty good on this Perry Skycam. I mean, you can see the wind still coming out of the south, so you haven't had the wind shift yet with the...
oh, that's definitely a southerly breeze, yeah. It'll start flying right at the camera when it changes, yeah.
But I've been watching this, really not even seeing a lot of lightning strikes on it yet, but I bet it's a pretty good crosswind, like you said, it's about to come across that interstate if you have anyone driving down there right now.
And the flags will tell it. They'll immediately start pointing straight at this camera, coming west to east. Macon Skycam probably still just showing some sprinkles, if anything, out there right now.
Showing much.
It won't be long, though. We'll be able to see some heavy rain on that one. Of course, it's just dark outside, so you can't see a whole lot. Situation in West Bibb doesn't look as bad as far as anything notchy. I mean, there's still a lot of heavy rain here. Not seeing as much lightning as we did before, so that's good. Just keep on weakening in some of these places. Just keep on coming down in intensity. That's the plan. But again, it's not far from coming across 75 here, all this stuff, as we just mentioned, especially the area that's bulging out here. You know, when you cross over and you're leaving, you get a little piece of Bibb, Crawford into Peach there, going down 75. That's about to cross over there, and mainly near Byron, just before, if you're leaving Macon, right when you're kind of leaving Bibb County right there. And then this other stuff's still going to take a little bit longer to come on across I-75. And then again, all of our eastern counties haven't been showing anything because, as you know, there's nothing there. So if you're in all these places going, what's up? What's coming next? We got to wait for all that to come across, and the indications are that maybe this is going to continue to weaken down. I still hope that's the case. Let me see if I can find the timing may be off a little bit. It surely is. This thing sped up so fast. That HER model is way behind. But it gives us the general idea, though. You see this? Timing's way off because this thing sped up. It still has this thing not even here at 7 o'clock. And it's already like this. So notice how it goes across and it continues to weaken more and more. So, oh, that's going to be great. See this thing come on through and hopefully in a little bit just start to really shut down. So if you're in our eastern counties, you know, it is possible that some of those places may not even get a warning tonight. And the crowd said, yeah. All right, so North Macon, West Macon, a lot of heavy rain there. Probably still some gusty winds. Up and down 475 right now. Cross breeze about to come over here from west to east. Peach County kind of split in half here with heavy rain and wind, and then out in front where it hasn't gotten there yet. And again, that warning goes until, both of these warnings only go until 8, I believe. One of them 7:45, I think. Okay, the one at the bottom right here, this one goes until 8. And the one for, trying to find the one for, there's so many listed here. Bibb Crawford goes until 7:45. So another 20 minutes on that, and we'll see what they do with that. Oh, here's interesting stuff right here. I missed that earlier. Significant weather advisories. I love it when we start going down to those. That is for Hancock, Jones, Putnam, Wilkinson counties. So significant weather advisory for this stuff here just means that, you know, it has come down below severe thunderstorm limits. All right, Marshallville. Still got a ton of heavy rain coming through there, but let's do a check here with velocity, and still don't see anything that jumps out except for that cow moo. And that says expires severe thunderstorm warning for Putnam County. So that one's about to drop off the map because, again, it has already outrun itself.
Roll your...
Whoa. Hold on. Continues severe thunderstorm warning tornado possible for Bibb, Crawford, Houston, Peach, Twiggs until 7:45. All right, that's just a continuation.
You can check this out. This is kind of cool. If you roll back your velocity back a half hour and then go forward, watch how the colors just dim there. All right, so you're talking real strong winds as this thing was coming in here. Then that part of the storm that weakened to the north,
yeah,
it's really come down in the wind intensity a little bit over the last, I think it was about half hour or so.
Yeah, much
still,
different.
Yeah, still seeing it down here a little bit, but not as bad.
I'll take that. So again, Putnam County, that's going to drop off the map here in just a little bit. So the heaviest stuff is from right around Macon and southward. And again, some of this stuff in Macon County heading on in toward Houston here into parts of Dooley. And again, it's all moving west to east. It's got a pretty good giddy up to it. It says some of these cells are moving 60 miles per hour. Although it does seem like they would be kind of coming across a little bit faster if they were going 60 miles per hour. I mean, that is flying. So if you don't have to get on the interstate right now and go anywhere from Macon spreading on down to Dooley County, from Bibb to Dooley, I wouldn't do it right now because it's going to be a very slow ride. Here's I-75 right here, so this is all going to be coming across in just a little bit. That actually will be a pretty fascinating Skycam to see in Perry in just a little bit because some of the teeth of this,
it's going to go right over.
Going to kind of come right through there. So it'll be an interesting shot to see that in real time coming across. Watch those flags just go woof and turn.
There's some lightning now.
Zoom out. Sometimes you get an idea of how this actually is moving. You step back and hit play for a little bit. Yeah, so for those folks in, Warner Robins, Perry, been waiting to see, how this is going to play out. It's going to be windy coming through with some heavy rain and a little bit of a lightning show, but it actually looks like it is weakening down, just as we were hoping. So it's a trend that is a good one, and hopefully will continue. Whoops. That same notch still there. Still nothing saying it's rotating. All right, let's check in on Macon here now. Yeah, probably a lot of heavy rain going along up and down through all of Macon except for downtown. It's about to roll into downtown, and then we'll hear it on our roof here in just a little bit. So dissecting Bibb County, the western half is, let me see here. We are streaming, so I'm gonna walk over here just for a second, get my phone, see if I got any messages. I had one earlier from, what did I do with my phone? There it is right there.
David Story says he better tie down his grill.
Yeah, I believe he's in Washington County. Just taking a guess. I sound like Skip Carey telling me about it.
A fan from
Bibb County, all that, boy. Let's see. All right. This was earlier. Sorry I missed you, Spencer Hawkins, there, but it says they were partially activated here at the Macon Bibb EOC, monitoring the situation. Let us know if you need anything. No updates or impacts from them, so that's good. But just to know that your Macon Bibb EMA is on top of things, and they're really keeping an eye on things.
You can hear it starting to come down on the roof here at the studio.
Can you?
I'm pretty, or is that the air conditioning?
I think it's the air conditioning.
Got me again.
Yeah, it's all right now. When it comes down a little bit, we hear it. Just checking a few things here. All right. Again, if you do have any damage reports or anything, it's probably going to be a few tree limbs down or something like that. You can go to our Facebook page and drop them off there. Any pictures or whatever. Of course, you have power lines down. You don't want to go walking around all that. Let's see. Yep. Okay. Flint Energy is reporting outages in Crawford, Macon, Taylor counties. All three of those counties are outages from Flint. And then we did have some Georgia Power outages earlier. Not too surprised to have at least some power outages out of this whole thing. And there is 13 WMAZ on the map. So we ought to be hearing something other than the air conditioner in just a little bit.
That
heavy rain about to roll through downtown, yeah.
I was going to say, remember earlier, this is back when we were on TV, we were talking about that lightning count. So we've been centering it on this view to track is our lightning counts going up or down, and they're way down now. 311 strikes in this giant view in the last 15 minutes. So that may sound like a lot of strikes, but it's actually not for that big of an area. And also that number was close to 500 last time we checked it. So that would be a sign that those storms are weakening, again, continuing in the right direction.
Yeah, it's another good measuring stick there, trying to see which way these things are going as far as intensity, and they're definitely coming down.
Oh.
There's the rain on the roof. Starting to hear it.
Check out the, just to the northwest of, between Perry and Fort Valley, some brighter colors on that velocity right there. Very broad, if any, rotation.
Yeah, I was looking at that just a moment ago, yeah. It's that same notch. All right, I'm getting a message from a friend of mine that things in Lizella are calming down. So that's good. Yeah, it looks like West Bibb is, you're in the clear. If you are in West Macon, you are done. So it's just going to be light rain now, maybe a rumble of thunder. North Macon, you're done. All of that has already made its way through. It is just now moving through Byron. Ooh, let's go to the, hold on a second. What did I just do? Oh, there we go. All right, so yeah, there's Perry right now, and this will be a good interactive television moment or streaming Facebook Live moment. Notice again, your flags are coming straight in out of the south. That breeze we've had all day today. Here's I-75 right here, and they're moving north. So the winds have been just pushing the flags all day like this, and when this stuff comes over in just a little bit, there will be a very quick, and we've watched this before, just a quick turn, and the flags are just going to start shooting straight at the camera right here. And then, of course, it's probably going to be tough to see because the rain is going to be pretty heavy when it comes across. I'm trying to see if we see any lightning that way yet. Seems like we should be seeing something flashing in the distance, but again, we haven't seen as much in the way of lightning recently, which again is a good sign. Let me do a check here. But it should, I mean, the wind should be definitely noticeable when it comes across, because out of the whole line in all of central Georgia, this that's about to come through this camera is the strongest that we have out there right now.
If this was daylight, it'd be cooler because we'd be able to see that the sheets of rain start coming right at the camera too, and we're just not going to be able to see that real well.
All right, another friend of mine saying Perry just picked up. All right, so that parts of Perry already getting the winds coming in, probably on the other side of the interstate there. And I'm waiting to see when I see this moment when this comes across right here. It should be pretty quick, especially as fast as this thing is moving. If I can get out of the way. Again, no tornado warnings out there right now. It's all severe thunderstorm warnings. But again, the wording has been tornado possible in every one of them, because the potential is there at any moment for some of these kinks in the line to start to just spin just a little bit briefly, and then sometimes they fall back apart again. So it's all been straight line winds mainly. I feel like I should go back to the radar, but I want to see this happen when it comes across. I blink and we're going to miss it.
Nothing too important on the radar right now.
What was that, Sierra? All right, about 1,200 folks in North Macon out of power, according to Georgia Power. 1,200 folks in North Macon. Wow, that's interesting because
Cassie Taylor also said the power went out.
All right, there's the power outage map right there, and you can see that big chunk right there for parts of North Macon. Some of these other spots, these are power outages. This is all in the Georgia Power outage map. Oh, go back to
that camera.
Camera real quick. Go back to Max 2. Max 2, quickly. There it comes. Watch the flags. Here comes the rain coming across the interstate. And wait for it. I can definitely hear it on our roof at the same time here. The wind's still out of the south there in Perry, riding up the interstate, paralleling the interstate. And the rain's starting to come across here. I can still follow the rain bands. Oh, it's heavy here on the roof here.
Yeah.
The rain bands are still blowing, it looks like, from south to north still. They haven't shifted.
And there's people putting blinkers on in the heavy rain on the highway.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's a blinding rain out there. Yeah. Again, one of our better sky cams for showing things coming from the west, and definitely when it's a wind event like this. Okay, Austin, Laura was saying pull up Facebook Live. Lots of people are commenting and give us some info we can use.
Okay.
So, but let's go back to that camera if we can while Austin looks at that. We'll go back to this Perry Skycam on Max 2 here.
See, the last couple comments. Rain picking up in Milledgeville. Latch screen doors open at Amanda's house. Crazy heavy rain. It says Dean.
I saw the lightning there in the distance right there just a moment ago. What do you have in the backyard garden, Sherrod? You want to take that? Is that what you said? Let's take it briefly and then, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Coming down here in East Macon now, so a lot of heavy rain. A little gusty winds, but the trees you can see through the street light in the back, not too bad. Not a whole lot of wind with it. Those flags still haven't really shifted yet. Well, that one just spun around on the left. I'm clearly enamored with this camera shot right here, and you can see it's starting to jostle the camera. We may not get to see anything in a minute because it looks like there goes, some of the flags are starting to turn. Looks like the rain is blowing straight into the lens here now, so this is probably going to mess our view up here in a second.
Yeah, probably.
But this is the strongest part of that line that we were talking about that's been leaving Macon County going into well, all of Houston County really, but right from Marshallville to Perry right here has been, there's the lightning there. So it went from nothing to this. Oh, there's the stronger wind really pushing on the camera now, and you can see the flagpoles waving. All right, let's see. All right, let's take me back at the wall, still with Max 2, Sherrod, if you can. That way I can just maybe change back in between. That's all right. I can just appear. There I am. All right. So there's that Skycam shot. Folks reporting thunder in Warner Robins. Take you back to the line here. Boy, still a notch there.
Well, yeah, and that's what the velocity was looking kind of interesting a couple minutes ago, too.
I'm not seeing anything. Let me back it up. Whoop.
Oh, hey. See a little...
What are you talking about?
Right? Okay, it's the green coming into the red on the bottom part of that right there.
Oh. Down here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something to keep an eye on. Yeah, that's something that we'll watch right there.
I mean, it's not super, tight, but it's just there. Power went out at the old Macon Mall. And power's flickering at Chili's on Riverside.
So now you know.
Yes.
Power is flickering at Chili's. Well, let's see. The northern end of the line has no warnings on it. So if you're anywhere from Hancock County down to Baldwin, you're just going to have some gusty winds and some rain rolling across, but you have no severe weather with that. And all clear from north to south would be Jasper and Putnam counties are done. Not quite done yet. Jones County, still some heavy rain, but that warning is to your south. Most of Jones County's done. Monroe's done. Upson, Crawford's done. North and West Bibb, done. Let's see. Peach County, not quite. Fort Valley, you're in the clear. Marshallville, Macon County's in the clear. This has still got to get on out of Byron here and cross on over 75 some more. And then all of that will start to clear out. But if you're Bon Air, you still got that heavy rain and wind coming in, part of that severe thunderstorm warning. Just curious. The flags, in a weird twist, are still blowing kind of south to north. I guess they are turning in a little bit. Probably more southwest to northeast is kind of what it is.
Yeah.
It's not a true punch wind from the west. Yeah. So they're kind of leaning this way a little bit, coming this way instead of going directly toward the east. All right, just had a dousing here at the TV station. Still watching that little kink right there that is between Warner Robins and Perry, although I can't find it now. Did that just disappear, that notch? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of did.
Still on velocity a little bit, that same little signature.
Warner Robins, some heavy rain coming down there. We probably could pull up our Warner Robins camera
here
and see all that jazz. Let's see, I'll pull it up over here on mine if you just get it up and running. Let's see what Warner Robins view looks like. Yeah, sheets of rain coming down out there. A lot of heavy rain and wind. You can see it in the parking lot lights down here. So definitely gusty. Sometimes, well, especially when the camera's zoomed out as far as it is, to have that much movement, it's a pretty good bit of wind. If you're zoomed in, obviously you see every little bit, but that's a lot of wind and rain coming in on that camera right there. And so, yeah, you can
see it in the lights.
Yeah, you can definitely see it in the lights. There's these sheets of rain and wind coming down. So that's Warner Robins getting the brunt of it right now, which is such a much better brunt than what it could have been if these were tornado warnings. Very thankful that we have yet to have a tornado warning, and we hope that that stays that way. And all signs are pointing to that it should stay that way, and then right when I say that,
is that a tornado warning?
That happens. No, severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible. This one's going to be for Baldwin, Bibb, Jones, Twiggs, Washington, Wilkinson until 8:30. And it's because of that same batch that just rolled through Macon here a little bit ago. It's still keeping an eye on all this stuff right here, and it's going to follow it on out just to be safe, I'm sure. You know, I mean, because of the winds, obviously, are still very strong with this too. But the tornado possible wording is to be safe, just to make sure that it's mentioned in case something were to pop up. Another report from Floyd County. I've not seen, which is great. No, I don't see any damage reports for our counties coming into the National Weather Service chat room. Zoom out.
And no real damage reports in any of the comments on here either.
Yeah, what are the comments like? Are they?
A lot of people just talking about heavy rainfall. The bottom just fell out in Kathleen. Some rain and wind. A lot of people talking about, you know, power flickers and stuff, but nothing too major out there.
Okay. Can deal with that. Just heard our first clap of thunder out here at the station. That's the only one. There hasn't been a whole lot of lightning, but there's some, and it's probably that strike right there is what we just heard, which is the newest one that just came in. And there's the remnants of that last Crawford bib warning that went until 7:45. That one just dropped off. So this replaced that one going forward.
This is our first damage report from down here.
All right, what you got?
Tree blocking I-75, mile marker 129 in Houston County.
Okay. Mile marker
129 doesn't make sense. That's probably a typo.
What? I don't know what the mile markers are there. What's the
well, actually,
crews en route. Tree blocking I-75.
that's probably South Houston, ain't it?
It would have to be, I guess. I don't know. When they listed mile markers, that does nothing for me. I couldn't tell you where that is. You'd have to say like near this exit or. No, wait a second. Which way do the mile markers count?
They go down when you go further to the south. So we're in the 160s up here.
Yeah, so that would be coming from the south up. So it'd be 129. I guess that would be South Houston.
Probably South Houston, yeah.
Well, we'll try to find out something on that. I don't know if the newsroom heard that. Sending Carlos out to check right now. How about that? Let's see. Out on Forsyth Road near Kroger.
There we go.
There's some more thunder.
Power's out completely off of Mercer University Drive, according to Stephanie.
All right. And let's see, Gwinnett County again.
A different Stephanie wants an update on the tornado watch. So tornado watch is still in effect for probably all of our counties. I haven't seen them really drop anything off yet, but.
Well, you're right. They haven't done any clearing lately. I think they've probably been a little bit busy with warnings. But what we can do, even though they haven't officially dropped some of these, they did drop Upson off earlier. I saw that, but. All right, so if you are to the left of that line, you are done. All right, so it doesn't matter if there's still a watch. The watch, even if they haven't cleared it yet. So we're talking about Jasper, Putnam is clear, Monroe, Upson, Crawford, Taylor, Macon County is done. Peach County is pretty much done now too. So Peach County is in the clear. Bibb County almost in the clear as far as a severe threat, unless that last little bit. Let me see here.
And while you're doing that, exit 129 is between Elko and Perry, south of the fairgrounds.
Okay, so yeah, that was right around where we were watching the camera then,
yeah.
was near there. Bibb County, other than some lightning and you know, the claps of thunder and some heavy rain, it looks like other than extreme eastern Bibb, but otherwise Macon is done. You're in the clear. Warner Robins not quite done yet. Still has the rain and wind coming through. Bon Air under the gun right now with some gusty winds. And that's a pretty sharp edge right there. So there's going to be some strong winds coming in with that as we roll on through Houston County. This is eventually going to move more into Twiggs.
So we're going to come back over to me for a little bit. So sorry, Ben, I was checking something else. I didn't see the last thing you were talking about. But so yeah, basically, if you're off to the left of that line, if the heaviest stuff has already come through, and you would know it when it came through, then your severe weather threat for the night is done. There's still a good bit of rain everywhere else across central Georgia, but that's about it. Those red shaded counties out ahead of the line, that's where we still have the tornado watch in effect. But like we've been talking about all evening long, the tornado threat just hasn't really materialized. You know, we did not have as much instability as was modeled. Part of that's because our temperatures weren't as warm as you know, they were forecast to be today. And that just has really limited how much of a tornado threat we've had. So still all these warnings out there, a lot of them still say that tornado possible, but just a damaging wind threat, and really not a lot of damage reports yet either, besides that one tree and a couple power outages. You back?
Yeah, I am. We were checking in. What we're going to do is in a little bit, probably within the next 10 minutes, we're getting up on game time. But hold on before you think, oh, you're going to go interrupt the game. No. There is a 1-minute window that we have for local stuff, and we're going to jump on and tell the TV audience what's going on and get right back out. Hold on. I love the Masters too.
The phones are already ringing.
This is going to be for a set amount of time. It's going to be right there for our using, and it does not go over any football game. It's just going to be for that 1-minute window, and we're going to jump back out. So you may see us kind of sit here for a minute waiting to be counted down, and then we'll go on the air for 1 minute, and then when we get counted down to come back off, we'll come off. As far as you know, you just look like I'm talking to somebody else for a second, but I'm still talking to you. All right, so the radar is still loaded up with little kinky lines out there, and what I mean by that is, forget that. What I mean by that is it kinks in the line. Of course, that's what I mean. As you get into Warner Robins southward here, you're seeing another little kink right there. No spin in these, though. We've been watching those, but you can see how that bulges out right there. That's going to be some gusty winds up and down through there. So it's already made its way over 75. That part of it has. Down here, Dooley and Crisp still has not come over 75, but from Unadilla spreading up like this, where it arches like that, that's going to be some strong winds coming across. Same thing here in Twiggs County. What just left us here in Macon also has quite a punch with some wind and rain there as well. So Wilkinson just now seeing some light rain coming in. Gordon, if you look off toward the west, you probably see an occasional lightning flash. Not a ton of them. There's not a ton of lightning out there with this, but you may see a little bit of a light up for a moment. Let's check in on Hancock County up here. That's not a warning. That's the stuff that came through Oconee Sinclair earlier, just some gusty winds and rain. Still no tornado warnings, which is fantastic. Probably, if I were to say the strongest stuff, the strongest part now is from Gordon down toward Unadilla. Let's see what that says.
Polk County.
Polk County. Let me see here, checking on different things.
So a couple people in the comments are talking about tornado sirens are going off at the base. Don't know why they would be doing that.
I couldn't answer it for sure. From time to time, that's happened. Sometimes the base will fire off sirens because they can do it. They can do it if they want. You know, for severe weather, it doesn't have to be a tornado.
Yeah.
And with that kind of wind coming across, they kind of they operate on their own thing. So sometimes you'll hear sirens at the base going off. We've had that happen over the years like that. It doesn't mean that there is a tornado warning. Just for their reasoning, they wanted to fire the sirens off because of a severe thunderstorm warning coming through. So. I'm sure they have different, protocol. All that stuff's probably different than the rest of us here. So no worries as far as the tornado warning. And even if you are hearing it, the base is to the east, and this is already moving away from Warner Robins anyway. So Houston County on the northern end is almost in the clear. Warner Robins, other than some heavy rain, you're almost done. As we said, Peach County's done. Bibb County, other than some heavy rain on the east and south side, still is done. Severe threat is over. So if you're watching anywhere from Macon or wherever like that, there is no more severe threat. That's gone. Still, all of these counties out here to go to the east, and no. Flint Energy is now reporting outages in Houston and Peach. So this is going right along as the line goes across. We're getting more power outage. More than 1,200 in Houston and Peach. Oh, Crawford? Crawford more than 1,200 without power. Yeah, power crews all up and down the state of Georgia tonight. Well, across the whole southeast are going to be busy. Let me check in on this little notch right here again, just to see if we see anything. Nope. I don't see anything in there. That's good. Let's go down here.
I'm just surprised all this wind shear and everything, and not one storm that can get wound up, which again is great. We don't want that to happen.
Warning. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's all right. That's
Twiggs, Bleckley, Pulaski, Dodge, Lawrence, Wilkinson. So wake up, Dublin. It's not awful what's coming your way. It's going to be, some strong winds and some heavy rain. But let me look at this right here, though. It's interesting. These are old lightning strikes back here. There's nothing like right up on it on this leading edge. So, I mean, just from a lightning perspective, again, it's coming down, although there is a warning issued because of the history of these storms. I want to go back actually and do a, the lightning's come down in some spots. Upson County, not only are you in the clear for severe weather, it won't be much longer, the rain will have already moved through here too. Oh, and once again, you may have heard, this is not going to be a front that clears all the way through and then there's beautiful blue sky tomorrow. This is going to be one that stalls out and then returns back as a warm front. So as we go through Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, maybe even Thursday, there's going to be rain potential off and on every day. Yay. So there's that. But at least the severe threat is just what we're seeing right now. Hello? I believe Sierra was trying to tell me something, but you don't need anything. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to try to back this up a little bit and see if we see any changes in intensity there. This stuff down in Dooley and Crisp doesn't even look bad. It's still in a warned area, but that looks a lot better. That is scattered out. You see that? It had some kick to it back in Sumter County, and then just sort of, I mean, there's lightning in it, and there's some rain and some gusty winds, but that sharp edge is not so much there. This is, that's a,
my mic's off.
Convective slight risk. Okay, so that's, what did they just do? They just update the,
What's going on in southern parts of Jones County moving into Baldwin, right at the top of that severe thunderstorm warning.
All right.
On velocity.
Let's see. Oh. That's the only one that I've seen really that had, of course it looks brighter on this screen than it does there. So, yeah, all right, so there's Gordon right here. So this may be something just to keep an eye on right through there, just see if it happens. Again, the next time this thing scans around, it could go back to looking like nothing again. They're very brief, these ones that have been popping up. And that's the reason why these severe thunderstorm warnings just have the mention of tornado possible. Other than that, looking up and down the line, I don't see anything. All right, so we'll watch that. Maybe we'll give it another scan. That is on the Jones-Wilkinson line right there, because there's Gordon, there's Gray, so it's in between the two. So it would be just in this little spot right here.
Gate-to-gate shears at 62 miles an hour.
There's so much speed going on tonight. The storms themselves are moving at 60, and then you've got wind coming out of these things, 60 plus. You're just waiting to see if it's going to spin.
Well, it's also not really at the,
oh,
it's not like in a notch.
It broadened out on that next scan, but it's still there.
It's still there, but it's not like in, how sometimes on the leading edge where you'd expect there to be a notch at. Well, Here we go. Let's see what this said.
You didn't just jinx us, did you? Oh, okay.
Oh.
Whenever they mention the word tornado in anything, the doorbell goes off. It was just something about the tornado sirens at Robins Air Force Base. All right. So far, so good. Still a pretty sharp edge up here, though, you know, as far as wind's concerned. I mean, that's still some gusty wind right here. When you start to see it scatter out in front like this, I mean, it's just kind of a rain coming in. When you get that, I mean, it's a quick onset of rain and wind, and it follows right along with where these warnings are, too. And how it kind of bows out a little bit right there around Gordon, so some strong winds coming through. Let's see. Is there anybody else I can put in all clear? Jones County, you're done. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. Jones County is in the clear. Houston County looks to be, well, hold on a second.
Hey, something you might want to address.
Yeah.
Robins Air Force Base posted on their Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
Tornado warning at the base. Did you want to comment on that?
Yeah, we've been talking about that. Hey.
Huh?
Back here, yeah, that was, Laura was just talking about how the base with their sirens. I'm not sure, I mean, the sirens are going off, but again, the base can fire off sirens from what I've been told years ago, pretty much whatever they want to do.
So interesting, Steve Nelson from the National Weather Service just said that technically Robins Air Force Base has meteorologists that can issue their own warnings.
Yeah, they do. I mean, well,
So-
yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, I mean, they have their own office there and everything. So I guess they're in their own world right there.
Yeah.
So if they want to fire off their siren, they can. Even though there was never a tornado warning issued from the National Weather Service, but you know, again, they may have a whole different way of the rules, how they want to do things there. So if you're hearing those sirens go off, it is not from any tornado warning issued from the National Weather Service. Let's put it that way. If you're in Bleckley County, Cochran, going to see some of this kind of heading in your way in just a little bit. Pulaski County, the same thing. Man, there's all kind of people talking in here now. Let's see. This is Wilkes County. All right, so that's outside of our area.
Well, and that rotation in Southeast Jones.
Is it gone?
No, Steve just said they're watching it. It looked, hey, look, go back to it. That looks pretty tight. That's the tightest we've seen tonight.
All right, let's see. Whoops, going the wrong way. Let's go up here and hit now.
Mine looks a little bit different.
Yes, Steve's picking up on that too then. Yeah, what are you on? Oh, yeah, are you on base? Or
No, I was on this. I think I was just on a different scan for you for a minute. Mine was, yours was slightly ahead of mine.
Did it look better back at scan? Let's see.
Yeah, look at this.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, you can see it right there. It was bright, and then that's why we talk about these things brief.
But if we go over to correlation for a minute, there's nothing yet. So hopefully there's no damage there.
Okay. Well, it's within the polygon, so you know this is a warned area. I'll take it very seriously as this comes through. That would be for moving now into southern Baldwin County. There's Milledgeville there, so this is right at the southern tip of Baldwin, leaving Jones County, crossing over. All right, being told that I can't see programming. I guess some of the NFL pregame is starting to wrap up, maybe, and we may get our 1 minute window in a little bit. Once again, we're not actually going to step on the game. We are going to jump into a designated time frame for us. And I don't see anything else with velocity down there.
There it goes again on that. That's a pretty bright pixel on that last scan.
Flared back up again.
Yeah, the motion towards doesn't look super impressive, but
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, so right in here is something that we'll watch. Well, No, we won't. That scan just came across and now it's gone again. Ugh. It'll be a tough call sometimes being in the National Weather Service, that hot seat as they call it.
You ever played that game, the hot seat simulator?
I have. Failed miserably, I believe. Let's see. All right. Cancels tornado watch for Crawford, Macon County, Monroe, Peach, Taylor. And it still continues. Cancels severe thunderstorm warning for Bibb County. Continues severe thunderstorm warning Baldwin, Jones, Twiggs, Washington, Wilkinson. Let me get back out where you can actually see something here. All right, so once again, we're in our eastern counties now. So all of these places, again, Putnam, Jasper, Monroe, Jones, Bibb, Houston, Peach, Crawford, Taylor, Macon counties, Dooley, Crisp pretty much, because we don't see anything down that way that's warned. Unless, I don't want to give you the all clear in Crisp County yet because that's stuff to your south there. We'll see if that comes up. But all those places I just mentioned are done. The severe weather threat is over. The main area is right in the core here in the middle. And so that's going to go from Pulaski County all the way up into Baldwin. And so the next stops on the train after Wilkinson, Twiggs here are going to be, again, Washington County, into Lawrence, Bleckley, Dodge, eventually Johnson County. And again, moving at a pretty good clip, you know. I mean, it's moving, you know, some of these little parts in here are moving around 60 miles an hour toward the east. Crazy to think about, as far east as we've gotten now, that if you went by the original RPM model that we were watching, this is the time it was supposed to have been starting over in Upson County. It really sped up, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. So again, all these severe thunderstorm warnings are out. Let me see, I don't know the expirations on these. What is that one? Until 8:30. And then this one is until 8:45. Fantastic.
Our cow's getting a lot of attention on the Facebook comments.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they like that.
Well, I have to take credit for that. That's, or blame.
Blame Twister. I don't know.
Well, yeah, so you set it up, and then you, whenever there's a post, we hear the cow, and then the doorbell, if they mention the word tornado. 1,400 people without power in Milledgeville. Around 4,600 people without power in the Macon area. Georgia Power. Okay. So that's getting near 5,000 people in the Macon area without power. So, I mean, from the meteorological standpoint, we look at this as a victory almost tonight compared to what it could have been with tornado warnings and all that. But just shows you with these straight line winds coming across like this that some of these trees and power lines, you're going to end up with a problem. And that's what's happened here. And apparently, right along as this has been moving across, the damage reports have been going right with it. We'll zoom out and see if we can see any weak. Oh yeah, I see weakening, a lot. See it down here on the southern end, around Cordele. That's been kind of falling apart here. This has been holding its own, and this leading edge right here is still really sharp, but not enough for any warning. But again, the central part of central Georgia, the Macon, Warner Robins kind of area, is done. Severe threat is over. I just heard another moo. What was that?
Damage report in Duluth. The moos are coming in.
All right, we were 1 minute away from doing this hit on TV.
Oh, tornado warning.
Look at that. First tornado warning we have seen in this whole thing just got issued up here. Just to show you that it still bears watching, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That is that the first one?
That's the first one in Georgia today.
City of Washington. 1 minute from now, we're going there. All right. I got a note saying that Perry is really bad right now. Probably getting some heavy rain and some gusty winds with that, but we don't have a warning for that.
There is another burst on velocity there.
In Perry?
Yeah. So maybe some gusty winds.
Yeah, there could be some strong winds coming through. Looks like that's the case, yeah. But this,
Yeah, it's good.
let's see on the. Can you give me Perry camera back
Yep.
when you get a chance? Oh, yeah, you can
Perry?
do that. I got to go on TV here in 15 seconds. All right, so folks on the stream and on Facebook Live, stand by. We're about to go on TV for just a minute. All right, we've been monitoring this line of thunderstorms going from west to east, and we've been going through this last couple of hours. It's turning out to be a scenario we were hoping for. No tornado warnings for us. We've had severe thunderstorm warnings that have had the mention of tornado possible inside some of these cells. We've seen little wrinkles kind of spin up at times, but nothing as far as an actual tornado warning. Macon and Warner Robins area is clear. Still some gusty winds and heavy rain around Perry. South Houston County, but no warning for that. The only warnings we have are these severe thunderstorm warnings. That is for Baldwin, Wilkinson, Washington, Twiggs, getting into Lawrence, Bleckley, Pulaski, and Dodge counties. They're moving toward the east at around 60 miles per hour. So gusty winds, 60 mile per hour winds, and then some heavy rain coming with that and occasional lightning. And so far, so good. No tornado warnings for us, and we're hoping that continues. We're streaming live on 13WMAZ.com and on Facebook Live, so join us there. Enjoy the game. Okay, I believe we are back up now, so that was that. I hope it stays like this. This is a much better scenario than what we could have seen. Yeah, so let me go back to.
I mean, even if you just roll back an hour, these don't look near as mean as they were.
Right.
They're still warned, but
If you're in South Houston County in Perry, those flags did shift toward the northeast here now a little bit more. So there's still some heavy rain and gusty winds there, but there's no warning for that area. The main threat has already made its way through there. What we're seeing is a little bit of a cluster just to your south that's kind of just pushing back up into South Houston County. We can see it right there. And there is some lightning with it and everything, but again, it's this main edge is where that severe threat is. This is going to be, I'm definitely not taking away from anything, this is definitely going to be breezy and heavy as far as the rain is concerned, and some lightning flashing off in the distance there, or right where you are. But again, it's right where the untouched areas, that's going to be where we're seeing the main severe threat. One of these warnings drops off at 8:30, the other 8:45. I believe it was this top one is until 8:30. Yep. And then this one down here goes until 8:45. And then after that, we'll have to see how the National Weather Service wants to treat points to the east from there. I'm just going back down just to see. Yeah, it's probably still pretty breezy there. From Perry stretching down to Dooley County there. Let's go up and check on any of these other spots, see if we see anything nuts. And I don't. Matter of fact, where is the one we were watching? Oh, it's right there, but
it doesn't look like anything.
it's not showing anything.
I mean, really everything last couple of minutes looks like it's weakening.
Yeah, I will hand it to the folks in Perry. I keep getting a couple of messages here. It is still coming down very windy and rainy there in South Houston County. We just don't have any warnings for this area, but you can definitely see it blowing into the camera right here.
Ooh.
Boom. There's some lightning out there too, that's for sure. So, stay hunkered down there in the Perry area. Then there's no warnings for you, but clearly there's still a ton of wind and rain left right there, which is kind of interesting to see that after that main front of that line came on through with where those warnings were. Okay, so
Doppler estimated velocities right in and around Perry at 67 miles an hour right now.
then I'm not exactly sure why they don't have a severe thunderstorm warning then.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you can see that spot right on velocity right over Perry right now.
You might want to probably fire that into the chat room and see what they say. Offer it up. Yeah, the Skycam definitely tells the story. It was getting jostled around there. Again, no warning for southern Houston County, but with still some of the reports that I'm getting from there and from our own Skycam, we can tell that all is not over completely there. So we go backwards. You can see when it was bright green, that was some stronger wind coming across. It was just another shot of wind and rain coming through. Yeah. Oh, let's see. That stuff in Crisp County around Cordele, there's no warning for that. But that, you know, has a little bit of a bow in it too, right there too. So there could be some gusty winds with that heading toward Wilcox. Again, as far as warnings are concerned, the only two, and I say the only two, it has a ton of counties in it, but are these two warnings that we have, and still no tornado warnings. Again, talking about all the all clears, western Upson County is literally all clear. The rain has already made its way on through there. And as Austin was talking about a moment ago, when you look, just loop it. I mean, look just in the past 20 or 30 minutes how some of this has really weakened down. Just the way it looks on the radar. I mean, you can just see it coming down.
Look between Warner Robins and Cordele, because I was worried that part of the line, you know, was going to hold its intensity, and it really is falling apart.
Yeah, which is interesting that Houston County, the Perry area, is still seeing the gusty winds and rain like they are.
That's what you love to see.
Significant weather advisory, Houston Peach Twigs. Is that because of what?
That's probably for that burst of wind there, actually. I thought that was going to be an extension from a severe thunderstorm warning, but.
No, you're right. What it is that thing we were just talking about then. They're picking up on it too, what was coming through Perry. That's a significant weather advisory now.
Moving northeast at 75 miles an hour.
What is?
That's what the text says in the on the significant weather advisory. Strong thunderstorm near Houston Lake, moving northeast at 75.
My goodness. This thing's going to get a ticket. That is crazy. So, yeah, that's just the actual movement of the storm is what we were seeing on that Skycam shot just a minute ago too. That, I mean, there's a ton of force going on right there. Even though it's not severe, it's just moving really quickly. Looks a little better than it did a minute ago. All right. Well, significant weather advisory behind a severe thunderstorm warning. You don't see that very often. Usually once that comes through, it quiets it down. But apparently parts of Houston County weren't quite through with the fireworks yet. So this is a significant weather advisory. So if you're in any of this area, Perry, Kathleen, spreading in towards Wilkes County, it's not a severe thunderstorm warning, but it definitely has a little bit of an attitude with it there as it's coming across. The rest of this still severe thunderstorm warning territory, but it has definitely lost some of its look Yeah, I mean, the weakening, especially, and really the models were showing that too, that once it kind of got to around this point, it just started to kind of shrivel up. And that's what we're seeing with some of these places, with the outlier being what just moved through Perry.
And I can't show this on TV, but I can see on this little screen beside me where we can see how much instability we have to work with, and it's a very stable environment right ahead of these storms now. So do expect that to continue then.
It almost could go flip off like a light switch here in a second. It could just shut down and be over before we ever see warnings in these areas, which would be right with what the models have been showing for days, that it would kind of just fizzle once it got into our eastern counties. So far so good on that. That is fascinating to me though, that after a severe thunderstorm warning, of course that's still some of that cluster from down there, almost kind of shot toward the north up through Houston County right here. Fascinated.
Yep.
Yeah. Strong wind there. And then washing out. So it was strong and then starting to collapse. Okay, well then I take back what I said about Houston County being totally in the clear. You still have a little bit of wind, obviously, and some rain out there to go. Is it moving north?
I don't know. I just put the Warner Robins.
What was that one? All right, here goes Hancock, Washington County, and that's off that one we were watching, and that notch is back.
Yeah.
But I don't see anything with it.
As windy as that Perry Skycam was, the one up in Warner Robins, much quieter.
Yeah, that significant weather advisory, that part that was just through Perry is coming, going underneath Warner Robins, it looks like. Cancels tornado warning for Wilkes County. That didn't last long. Severe thunderstorm warning. Yeah, that was Baldwin, Hancock, Washington, Wilkinson until 9. That was that last one we just saw. The one that just got issued. So now, if you're in Sparta, you have a lot of heavy rain there. If you're in Sandersville, all these folks that live in these eastern counties have watched these events for the whole time, just waiting and waiting and waiting. Still not far from coming your way, although I think most of this severe threat with this is going to kind of go up and over you, Sandersville. But some of the one down here may come in. Either way, I think you're going to have some gusty winds and rain coming in just a little bit. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that Warner Robins camera, very peaceful. It did not look like that earlier. So, it's like all is well in Warner Robins. You go south of there, still gusty and heavy rain. Let's see if the HRRR is caught up. No. These models are useless tonight.
They're way behind.
Yeah. It still shows the weakening trend just like what we're seeing, but it does, the timing is way off.
You know, and this happens a lot of times. I feel like we're forecasting a squall line to move through that it seems to come through faster.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's remember that next time when we're forecasting things, sometimes, you know, the time can be fluid. Try to nail it down with what we have, but you're still dealing with a force that no one still fully has a grasp on 100% of the time. Steve says, thanks, Bill. That was what that cow moo was. Steve was thanking Bill. Okay, Wilkinson County, Irwinton, heavy rain still rolling through right there. All of this that you see that came through Perry a moment ago is in Bon Air right now, Kathleen area. All this is going to be going across if you're in southern Twiggs and Bleckley County. Even though you have a severe thunderstorm warning for that, this that is behind you still has a little bit of a punch to it, although it's not severe. So if you still get some gusty winds and rain, it's not anything that has been labeled severe, but it is notable. Forsyth County. I still don't know if I've seen maybe one damage report. It's just been power outages.
Yeah,
for us,
power
right?
outages, which I mean, I get there may be some limbs down.
Well, that's the damage, yeah, I guess, the tree limbs on some lines. All right, so let me do a velocity check again. I don't see anything in there. Well, it is falling apart, although I'd like to see it happen a little bit faster than this. Not going to complain, though, I guess. Things are weakening in spots, but it's still some of these places that have had a little bit of a thump to them continue with it. This core part of this line continues to chug along toward the east there, so Wilkinson getting into Washington, Hancock counties, unless something really drastic changes, it's probably going to ride straight through still as a severe thunderstorm warning. Dublin, you're kind of on the outside looking in. This stuff that was heading your way that's severe is falling apart in a hurry. Even though technically you're right in a severe thunderstorm warning, this stuff's kind of just fizzling as it moves a little bit toward your north here. Biggest stuff by far is what's leaving Irwinton heading towards Sandersville, Sparta. So there's this area right here. You get down into Wilcox County toward Abbeville, you can see things bowing just a little bit down that way, but no warning for that. Sure.
This is interesting. Even with the line that came through Macon, the strongest gust reported at the recorded at the airport was only 38 miles an hour.
That is interesting.
So
Because
not even close to verifying that warning.
Yeah, I guess maybe some other part of the cell then was, but that was it, South Bibb, which is where they would have been, yeah. So there's a look at some of the current temperatures out there. Again, we're not going to be looking at a big cool down and clear. I tell you what, let's do the Dublin Skycam, and we can point it west. It might already be.
You have to tell me which way is west on this one.
That's going to be looking toward City Hall. Look toward the theater area. And we look that way.
Hang on one second. So over here. Here, you have it pulled up. Like, where do I stop here?
What does Dublin have? Stuff off toward the west.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what you're pointing at here now. Jog on around to your left. Yeah, let's keep going. All right, let's see here. That might be it.
Leave it there.
Yeah, I can't really see anything though. So let's see. I thought I saw a flag a minute ago.
Oh.
Yep.
Hang on, let me try to get this back.
Georgia EMC. More than 3,000 people out of power in central Georgia. So that's
Jesus.
goodness.
I think that just hit our station.
Wow. Sounded like a meteor hit the building right there. That was a giant thunder clap here at the station. So let me have a recap on this. That's Georgia EMC, 3,000 plus. Georgia Power in in Macon, Bibb, 4,600 plus. And then we've had sporadic reports. Flint, some other spots. More than 1,200 in Crawford from Flint. More than 250 out in Taylor County, and then smaller for Macon County, Houston, Peach. Just trying to keep a running total of all of this. All right. Yeah. Milledgeville area, 1,500 without power from Georgia Power. Okay. So, yeah, there are some power outages out there. All right, well, let me get off of this look right here. I don't see anything going on in Dublin. There's really not much anything heading that way. Dublin, again, one of these spots we were wondering if might just get nothing but some light rain out of this.
They just dropped off that one warning that I don't even think it included Crisp County. It was just south of there. So that part of the line that may be moving northeast isn't severe anymore. And aside from the lightning strike that just hit our roof, there's really not much lightning left across central Georgia. A lot of just old strikes.
Yeah, I think that one was just happened to hit close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let me zoom out again here and take a look at how this stuff is looking as it comes across. And yeah, it's still weakening down. It's a good sign. Again, that stuff that just came out of Houston County a little bit ago, look how quick it was moving here. It's 75 miles an hour to the northeast. So if you're in Twiggs County, you may be getting a little bit of gusty winds and rain still with that significant weather advisory. A lot of cows moving. Yep. Let's see what's going on here.
Significant weather advisory for a lot of people.
All right, so Johnson, Lawrence, Washington, Wilkinson, significant weather advisory. Johnson, Lawrence, Washington, Wilkinson. Okay, so that's this right here. So that's telling me this still goes until 8:45, I believe. But do you think they're going to drop that now? And they're replacing it with a significant weather advisory. That could be what's happening. I don't see any reason for there still to be a severe thunderstorm warning here. So that might be about to replace that. Oh, there's a damage report in Macon. Tree down with power lines on Corbin Avenue between Eldridge Drive and North Nansalon Circle in Macon. Haven't seen many. Let's see. All right, they have a correction. Tree down between North Nansalon Circle and South Nansalon Circle in Macon. Tree down was it's listed as tree down with power lines. So that could be part of the Macon power problem. I would have to think that what they're doing is they're going significant weather advisory with this whole cluster. Because remember, this is that stuff that came out of Houston County, and they may drop this severe thunderstorm warning.
Well, probably. Look how, I mean, we can't see your outflow boundaries in January, but you can see the green starting now to creep out ahead of the core of these storms a little bit.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have that razor's edge anymore. It does here still a little bit. So Washington County, still a little bit of a punch coming through, but as fast as this stuff's moving, it's not going to take much longer, and that's going to be out of there. Interesting with the way that bows out in Wilcox County there. There's not even a significant weather advisory of that because it's got just a little bit of a punch out right there.
Mm-hmm. They may be getting a real good look at it on the radar there because it's pretty close to the radar. Let's see. Query this. Well, velocity 48 miles an hour on part of it, so
Which are you talking about? The Washington County stuff?
Yeah, did you just, wait a minute. Did you say coming out of Wilkinson?
Oh no, I was talking about Wilcox, way down there at Abbeville.
I
It's
thought you
just-
were talking about this little bow
No,
here.
no, but that's interesting because yeah, you're still seeing some gusty winds on that. Yeah, that
How
thing
about
down
this?
there. I mean, it's there's not much to it though, I guess.
Let's see here, 38, 38.
All right, so we're waiting to see what they're going to do with. Let me see.
All of a sudden now too, we're down to just those 2 warnings. Again, it still includes a large area, but a lot of this looks less than severe limits on radar at this point.
I mean, it's doing exactly what the models were showing, that it should be falling apart, and it continues to do that. But we're not going to in coverage here just yet. We're going to wait and see. Again, with some of this stuff, which was still kind of fascinating to me, that even behind all of that, that we still had that coming out through Perry right there, which belongs in Wilkes County now. Still some lightning being generated there, just a little bit, but it's not awful. But I'm sure if you're in that area, you're like, oh yeah, it's still a little bit windy and definitely some pockets of heavy rain. Really flying in towards Sandersville now, and again, don't blink or you'll miss it because this stuff is moving in a hurry. 60 to 70 miles an hour. There's the movement of the storm itself off toward the east. Speaking of east men, you may end up without even a warning. Same thing for Wrightsville, McRae. Dublin, you're technically in a severe thunderstorm warning, but this part right here is what's kind of bowing out just a little bit, and that's that significant weather advisory. So I guess maybe they'll let that warning go for another 10 minutes, or they'll drop it. We'll see. And that last one there in Washington County goes until 9, but it's not going to sit. It's not going to take that long for it to get all the way through there. So that is until 8:45 with that one. All right. Oh, sorry, that was pretty loud, I guess, wasn't it? All right. Checking in on velocity, just making sure nothing's spinning. Don't see anything. All is well. Let's wrap this thing up, man. Come on, let's either fall apart some more or get on out of the area.
Or both. So, or both.
Yeah, both, yeah, same thing. So we're waiting for this to get on out and then see if this gets canceled right here. So, knock on the sheetrock, no tornado warnings for the whole time coming across for us. A lot of the word tornado mentioned, but that was just in, severe thunderstorm warnings. Tornado possible is how they were doing it. That's just people talking. There's
one little bright patch on the velocity.
Hey, wait, Sierra. Oh, I'm sorry. It said correction on that Macon, with a tree down between North Nansalon Circle and South Nansalon Circle, and then said sorry on Corbin Avenue. Oh, so okay, so it might have been all that. Okay, what were you saying?
Well, I was gonna say it had caught my eye for a quick second up there in Hancock County that same little circulation that we were tracking back there in Jones County I thought was gonna do something, but then here it is a couple scans ago, but then 2 scans later, it's gone.
Yep. Pop up, get your attention for a minute.
Yep, that was about it.
Turn around, do the hokey pokey, you come back and it's gone. Sandersville, most of that may be kind of going, well, it's going through town, parts of it, maybe north, but then there's more stuff about to come in from the west. It's like some folks are having some fun in the chat room. Still hearing some thunder here at the station occasionally. Just heard a little clap of it out there, but this is of a weakening system as it comes across. So everything going according to plan, falling apart as we had hoped. It just takes a little bit of time for that to happen. And we're waiting out these last couple of warnings here to see how this is going to finish out. Looks like if I were a betting man that this one's going to let go to be expired at 8:45 on its own in 6 minutes, and then this one we will not wait until 9. Once it clears out of Washington County, game over. You're still getting some rumbles of thunder, I'm sure, in many spots as you go back into Macon and all these places. Some rain still falling in places too, but I want you to know that the severe threat is what's been out front here, and that's moving away and or falling apart. So if you're still getting rumbles of thunder, don't worry about it. You want this to keep pushing east. It's whatever's on that front leading edge right there is the bad stuff. 5 more minutes on the Twiggs, Wilkinson, Bleckley, Pulaski, Dodge, Lawrence affair. It's a Union County, Blairsville report. That's not our area. This is, what is that, looking out in our parking lot?
That is our parking lot. But did you see that report out of Blairsville flipped a plane over?
Oh, that might be that picture I saw. No, that was in Alabama.
That was in Alabama.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was parked plane overturned. That's going to be a rough day for somebody.
Must have been one of those little ones like that picture in Alabama.
Yeah.
One catches those wings and tip. Other than the plane flipping over in Blairsville, we haven't heard of a whole lot recently, other than Steve thanked Bill about 20 minutes ago, I think. Okay, so we're just watching and waiting, seeing how things will finish out. I haven't been watching Facebook Live. I don't have access to that over here, I guess.
No.
Any more comments, or people been dropping out as the threat goes away from them?
Yeah, there's still over 1,000 folks watching with us, though.
What?
Yeah, the comments have gone from talking about the weather to
Wait.
talking about us.
Tell me that again, Sierra. All right. Georgia 511 reports that on I-75 South near exit 127, there's a car and a truck in an accident. The right 2 lanes of the 3 lanes are affected. Expected to be clear by around 9 o'clock, but could be later. So if you're heading through Houston County, there's a wreck there, which may have been related to some of this. And again, all the power outages we've mentioned, Georgia EMC over 3,000 around central Georgia. Georgia Power in the Macon-Bibb area over 4,600 without power. Georgia Power says Milledgeville over 1,500. Flint Energy says around 1,200 or more in Crawford County, around 250 in Taylor, and then sporadic as you go more into Macon, Houston, Peach counties. And I can't read my handwriting on what that is. So, all right. According to the clock, 2.5 more minutes left on this warning here. And I'm assuming it's just going to be allowed to ride it. Hey, Johnson County, welcome to the party. This is not severe, but it is significant. This part right through here, significant weather advisory. This is rolling toward the east as well. And so Wrightsville, you may get some gusty winds and some rain in a little bit, but you don't have any severe warnings with it. We're going to be getting up on nitty-gritty time here before too long once that warning to the south drops, and then once we see this clear through Washington County, that will probably do it unless we get some more significant weather advisories in some of our southern counties. But so if you're down here, Dodge, Telfair, Wheeler, Southern Lawrence, Trutland, Wilcox, all these, Johnson County, it may be exactly what we were thinking. Rain, maybe a little bit of gusty wind, and that's about it to finish out this situation tonight. So that's hopefully how things are going to play. According to the clock on the computer, it's 8:43. It is 8:44 almost on this clock up here. So, but you said no damage reports that you can see on Facebook Live or anybody?
No, there's a lot of funny comments in there now.
So the cow's been a big hit.
Yes, the cow's been a big hit. They want to know about my hair.
Well, I do too.
Yeah.
What do they want to know about it?
Somebody asked if it's a toupee or a wig. No, neither. It's real hair.
It is?
Yeah. You never tried to pull it off? Can't pull it off.
That's proof. It's all the proof we need right there. Too young for that.
Now yours, on the other hand.
Yeah, mine's all stapled on. Here we go. Let's see. Sandersville, heavy rain to Tennell. Wrightsville, again, some heavy rain down that way. And just a thin band and maybe some gusty wind. Again, you're still having lightning behind all of this. So all these places where the storms have already come through, there's still a steady rain coming down, and there's still lightning strikes out here. So you'll hear a rumble of thunder occasionally, but nothing to be alarmed about. It is just the last little bit of all this kind of trying to move on through. All right, so we'll see what happens here in a second with this warning here at the bottom. According to this clock, it's 8:45. Our computer clock is a little bit behind, so it might drop off here, right there. So now that one's gone. So now we have no warning there. Come on, Sandersville. Everybody stand up and just blow to the east like that, and let's get this thing on out of here. That's the last little bit for that severe thunderstorm warning. If it's not out of there in time by 9 o'clock, it will expire at 9. So what have we learned here? We've learned that the models were on as far as intensity and then the weakening of all this as it made its way across. What they missed was the timing. It ended up coming in about 2 hours earlier, which is okay with me. Because we were thinking we would just be getting knee deep in this stuff in the Macon and Warner Robins area at this point, and then still have to go to midnight or 1 in the morning or something. So this is a better scenario for everybody, because I'm sure a lot of people don't really want this stuff coming through while they're asleep in the middle of the night, having to deal with all that. So having this already over with is great. You can enjoy your Saturday night. Still planning on rain as we go through off and on the day tomorrow and parts of Monday. Well, actually, could pick up some Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, even a little bit of Thursday. But then I did mercifully see on our 7-day that I made a little while ago that the sun comes back out for Friday for about 6 minutes, and then another wave next Saturday possible with another front and some rain maybe with that. And it better not be like this next Saturday. Let's just have a normal front that comes through with just some rain. That'd be all right. Let's see, as a Morgan County. Okay, fire crews. Oh, what? All right, Sierra. Fire crews on site at Grant's Lounge on Poplar Street. It took a direct lightning strike with damages to the structure and possible fire. That is not good.
Give me a second here and I'll get that pulled up on the camera.
Grant's Lounge. Fire crews there took a direct lightning strike with damages to structure and possible fire. I hope that's not the case. Legendary place right there for a storm system that has not had a whole lot of lightning. To think that they had a direct hit. We'll find out about that. We're getting on that right now. If anybody in that Facebook thing knows anything about it, let us know, please. I know we've got a lot of folks from downtown that will check in on our Facebook Lives and everything. So I'll tell you what. Hey, Austin.
Oh, yeah.
Get me that, if you can. Let's pull up the Macon Skycam and point it toward Poplar.
Yeah, you got it on right now. I can't. It doesn't look like anything's on fire.
Hold on, let me pull. All right.
Let me zoom in on.
Hold on, let's just stop here for a second. Okay, so here's Poplar right here, so you need to come down this way.
Go that way a little bit?
Yep.
There's a fire truck, yeah.
Whoop. All right, so if you can try to get in.
Yeah, let's go in there a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I hope that's not the case. I really do. We're going to have to zoom in and let this focus up a little bit.
Hang on, I was trying to focus.
You may have to do the manual on that one. Sometimes when it gets those raindrops on it, it has a hard time. Expires a tornado watch for Bibb, Crisp, Dooley, Houston, Jones. Continues it for our other counties, even though. Grant's Lounge building is being evacuated. So newsroom, if we're listening, Grant's Lounge is being evacuated. All right, let's focus in a little bit better on this if we can, Austin.
You want zoom or focus?
Focus if we can.
All right, let's try it. How to do this manual?
Yeah.
That looks pretty good to me. Got a ladder truck up there?
I'm trying to figure out where we are here. So that's Second Street. Let's see what, that almost does look like a ladder, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it is a ladder.
Go. Can you go in any farther on that?
Zoom? Yeah, I can.
I'm trying to see if I need to get out of the way. I can't tell exactly where I am. I'm losing my bearings here.
This is. I don't know if I'm doing a better job or not. What are we looking at here?
Down here.
Down. There's not like a good in between.
All right, hold on right there. Let's see. Well, we're seeing reflection in all these windows. There are a ton of emergency crews down there.
Let me go.
Let me think. That looks to be a ladder that's going up. Look up here.
Yeah.
Is that the top of the ladder?
Yeah.
That might be where the hose is, right up here.
Oh, yeah.
All right, go over. Okay, right here. Hold on. So here is the top of the fire ladder. And I can't tell if they're shooting water out of that or not.
Luckily, we don't see giant flames shooting anywhere. That's good, right?
Yeah. But so if you're just joining us on the stream here, I see a spotlight. They're shining a flashlight from up there. If you're they're probably looking for stuff on the roof here. I see a light here. Grant's Lounge evacuated, apparently from what we're hearing in the chat, that it direct lightning strike. And it said structural damage and possible fire. Okay, they're working on getting video right now for this. So this is downtown. Oh, can you imagine if this storm system had come through a couple weeks ago and all those people were down there with those Christmas lights?
That would have been rough.
Right there in Poplar Street like that. So, of course, you don't want it to happen on a Saturday night when Grant's Lounge is full either, though. But this is definitely the ladder from the truck here, and the lights blinking here. So
now there's people saying it's not Grant's Lounge.
I'm wondering that myself because I'm trying to figure out where we are. We're somewhere.
Hang on, somebody said it's a different coffee shop. Hang on, let me go up a little bit. Lightning strike Poplar Street near Taste and See Coffee Shop.
Man, there's so many new things down there now. I can't remember. I don't know which one's which. I can get a better idea. I hate to zoom out and lose our spot and come back in. I'm just trying to get a gauge on where we are. Are we between 2nd and 3rd Street? Yeah, these are firemen on the roof right here. And we're as far in as we can go?
Oh, no, you can go further in a little bit.
All right, let's try to go in some more here.
There's one more notch here. Okay. Bet y'all at home didn't know we could do this.
Trust us, we don't use it for any nefarious reasons or anything.
Okay, hang on. Where am I? Now
you got to go back left because it's really sensitive once you get to zoom in so far.
You say I got to go left?
Now back up and left now, I think.
Up and left?
And go left.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, wait. You may have to go back out then and get
Okay,
there we go.
Down.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I see them with the flashlights walking around there, it looks like. So they're on the roof.
luckily there's looks like a decent bit of water on the roof from the rain.
Okay, if you want to take it. All right, here we go. This is video that we're getting right now. So we've already gotten out there. This is from our Zach Merchant who lives down there.
That's a lot of response.
There's a ton of responders down there. So which way are we facing right here? This is, okay, so there's Poplar and this, okay. So I don't know which building they went into. I can't tell where we are in relation to that. Somewhere downtown on Poplar Street was popped by lightning then, and there appear to be a lot of fire crews there responding to it, and somebody at least on the roof. So maybe that's a good thing that we don't see any flames on that roof.
Yeah.
They're just checking out for stuff. We're working on, they're getting more information now about which building took this hit, and if there's any structural damage to that. Let's see, we'll go back to the Skycam shot. Again, this is on Poplar Street right here. So this was, we've had power outages and all that, you know, with tonight, and some trees down and limbs down and stuff like this, but this is something that just came in just a little bit ago. They are continuing, by the way, that severe thunderstorm warning for Hancock and Washington counties until 9. Which makes sense. And Baldwin, Wilkinson was dropped out of that. All right, well, can't really tell anything different with that, but we know that there are a lot of people downtown checking into that to see. First reports are that it's Grant's Lounge and that it is being evacuated. And then now it is Grant's Lounge we're just hearing. Zach said he just looked at it. It is Grant's Lounge. So Grant's Lounge, we've confirmed then is at least being checked on. We don't know if there's any, what kind of structural damage or fire or anything like that. We've heard that it was evacuated, which is a smart thing to do. But we don't have any other information other than that. All right, so Sandersville in the clear now. And the last little bit here, about to leave Washington County. We will hang right here for these remaining 4 minutes to button this up, and then that's going to be it, because it looks like the rest of it has fizzled. When I say fizzled, I mean it's down below severe limits. And if you're in Crisp County, you're like, wait a minute, man, we still have some heavy rain, wind, and a lot of lightning down here. Indeed you do, but there are no severe thunderstorm warnings for that. It's something we'll still watch until all this comes on across, but as far as our coverage, there will be no need to keep going. And really, even normally with severe thunderstorm warnings, we might not have stayed on, you know, like this long, but because the whole line was just saturated with severe thunderstorm warnings.
Well, and because of what happened in Alabama earlier today.
Yeah, and then you had those folks that lost their lives over that way, and so definitely needed to pay attention to every bit of this.
Excuse me.
Okay. If you're in Wilkinson County, though, you're probably still getting some gusty winds and heavy rain with that just left Irwinton, and I still see a few lightning strikes that way. Dublin, it's amazing. Did you even get any rain? You're about to get maybe a sprinkle or two. That's about it for now. You may get some more a little bit later on with all the rest of this still has to come on through. And again, we can take you in to show you how tomorrow and beyond looks. All right, so notice as we go through the overnight tonight, it'll probably just kind of quiet down, but then during the day tomorrow, this whole frontal situation will return back to the north, still with at least the potential for some rain, off and on light drizzly stuff. Beautiful mid-January weather. As we go into tomorrow night, we get into Monday, and there's some rain there that could be a little bit heavy at times. Through the day Monday, and then yippee still around possibly on Tuesday. And I'll show you since we have a moment. The long range model look shows that we'll go from Tuesday on into Wednesday, still with the potential for some rain. And then, wait a minute, let me back that up. So Thursday, a little chance of rain there. And then Friday, we may get a break before this next wave comes in next Saturday. And I sure am hoping that ends up being just rain. Coming across with that front a week from today. All right, a couple more minutes here and we'll see how this is going to finish out. It looks like significant weather advisories, you know, have been kind of what's been left for a few places out there. Do we have any new information while we're hanging on here about grants? I guess there's still a lot to try to figure out. All right, we have crews out there now. Again, if you're just jumping in on here, that we have heard that lightning struck Grant's Lounge and there was some possible structural damage and a possible fire, and that the building was evacuated, and there are a ton of first responders down there, fire crews. And we saw a video of them walking up and down Poplar Street, and then now we have, in just a few minutes, we're going to try to get some more pictures in just a little bit to see how things are looking. But as far as the weather situation is concerned, again, ended up with no tornado warnings, but a slew of severe thunderstorm warnings. A lot of real estate covered under severe thunderstorm warnings. The only spots were some of these southeastern counties that were never warned. Everybody else pretty much was at one point or another. So that tornado watch is going to continue to get trimmed back, you know, from west to east until the rest of this comes on across. They'll probably leave it up for these eastern counties until they like to be safe and make sure the full all clear can be sounded before they do that. But if you still have some rumbles of thunder, a little bit of light rain out there, nothing to be alarmed about. It's just this stuff trying to finish on out and come on through. The severe threat will be over. So according to this clock here, we are coming up on 9 o'clock, and with this one just slightly behind, it should take just a second for this polygon to vanish. Will it? There it goes. Okay, that's it. That's our last warning then. We will, okay, you want to do, okay, all right, so the weather coverage part, we don't have any more warnings, but we're about to do something on the Grant's Lounge right here, right? Okay, so for those of you, has anybody got any new information to us in that chat?
Mm-mm.
All right, so Zach's about to call in. Let's see, I'll take us back. Hey, Zach. Hey, yep, you're on our live stream with us here. I was trying, hold on, I'm trying to pull up the, for some reason I lost contact with my computer here. We were keeping an eye on the Grant's Lounge situation down there, and we've seen a ton of fire crews and everything. What can you tell us?
Electricity in the air, and then I was probably 2 blocks towards MLK from Grant's, walked out my front door, took a look, and there's, oh boy, let's count them up. 1, 2, at least 3 fire trucks, a couple more EMS responders here, and there's a ladder truck right now that's extended, and a couple firefighters right at the top of the ladder, probably about 3 stories up, just got finished spraying water on what looked like a little bit of a hot spot towards the top of the building, the 3rd story of the Grant's Lounge building. Spencer Hawkins, who's the EMA director for Wilkes County, was out here, bumped into him just for a second. He's still in the fact-finding mode, but he did tell us it looks like a direct lightning strike at the Grant's Lounge building. So far, though, no visible flames after that one little hot spot. Looks like it got put out by the firefighters. That's obviously not confirmed. That's just what I'm seeing right now. But that's kind of the lay of the land here at the moment.
All right, so so if we can go back to our Skycam shot, we do have them on the roof here, and if you want to take it full, guys, too, if I'm in the way here, and we can go back to Max 2, I believe. I had them on there where you could see the firefighters on the roof with their flashlights up here, so they're still inspecting up here where they've gotten down off that ladder. So they did evacuate the building, is that what we're hearing?
Unconfirmed. We didn't get a chance to ask Spencer Hawkins that, but just seeing what we're seeing on the ground here, the building is totally dark, and it looks like everyone, again, is unconfirmed, but it does not look like anybody's in there. It doesn't look like there's any kind of rescue effort or effort to get somebody out. The effort looks like it's focused on just making sure there's no flames that break out up at the top here.
Have you seen any smoke coming out of the building?
No. The only thing we saw, or I saw down here, was what looked like a really almost microscopic hot spot, just almost like if you were looking at a really hot piece of charcoal, a little ember. And I'm, 3 stories down from it, but that's about as big as it looked. Maybe a tiny bit of smoke coming out of that. Firefighters up on top of the ladder sprayed that down pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. Now they're spraying a little more. Looks like you can't see any kind of flame up there.
Well,
But,
and
yeah, like I said, just a little bit of flame earlier, but it looks like that got put out, and now they're working on something I can't see.
Yeah, well, we're able to see it from the Skycam shot on the roof here, and you can see them. They're doing a full inspection, it looks like, with their flashlights all up and around that brick facade that's on the front of the building, all around the roof. So what you can see to the top, we can see down inside where they are, and I don't see any flames or anything like that. It just looks like they're walking around, checking out the brick wall, probably really just combing this place over, looking to make sure that everything's all right before they get back down. But
yeah, and there definitely is too. I do want to mention the fire risk. Obviously, like you said, looks like they're just doing a full inspection up there. But down on the ground, you said you have the sky view from the Skycams. Down on the ground here on the street, a lot of bricks thrown around. It's an old, beautiful brick building, and there's brick debris scattered. I don't want to overstate it, but 10, 15, 20, 30 feet back off of the building. At least one car had its back window shattered. So there's damage visible down on the ground level here as well.
Well, and that makes sense because what they're shining their flashlights on here looks like the corner of that brick facade. It looks like there might be a chunk out of it. That might be where lightning struck. And you know, a lot of these buildings have those lightning rods, those pointy rods on top of them that are there for this. And it might have hit that to divert away from the rest of the building, but it could have blown some of that cornice work off the front right there. So that, I'm guessing that's what's happened. Of course, we'll figure that out. But what's that? Is that water that's coming off the side right there? It looks like a stream of water of some sort, but it looks like they're really doing a lot of inspecting right now with flashlights on the roof.
That's what it looks like from the ground level as well. And you're right, the water from that ladder unit is just kind of falling off of the edge of the roof there. It doesn't even look like it's really touching a whole lot, just maybe almost where the gutter might be up there.
Yeah, that matches up what we're seeing here too. It's just, okay, stand by, Zach. We have some pictures here.
Yep.
These are from your vantage point. These are your pictures you sent, so we're looking at it from the top.
Some video. There should be some video coming in there as well from the ground level too. So just, I don't have a line into the control room, but someone will be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, I saw your video earlier of some of the firemen walking up Poplar. These are photographs now of the Grants building. You can definitely see the other angle of what we're seeing with our Skycam. So all of this makes sense, that ladder, and it probably looks like some of that cornice work up there on the brick facade up there on the top corner must have taken a pop. And that's the reason why. I think I see the bricks on the ground that you're talking about out in the street near the sidewalk too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that actually extends all the way down. I don't know how familiar you are with or our viewers are with downtown Macon, but we're on the Poplar Street stretch where there's a whole bunch of restaurants and stores here, and the bricks on the ground extend back, 100 yards or so towards MLK. So they got scattered pretty good
Wow,
here.
so that was a pop. I mean, almost like an explosion then when it hit. It probably just blew those bricks apart.
When I first got patched in, that was kind of the word I wanted to use. I don't want to overstate it here, but I was in my apartment 2 blocks down, and you could feel it sounded like it was right on top of us. When
I wonder if that's the same one that we had here. I bet that's the one that was about a half an hour or more ago, and it just sounded like it hit our roof right here. It was so loud because we're not too far from downtown right here, so.
No, we could even feel a little bit of the electricity tingle in the air when that happened. It definitely felt close.
Wow. All right, Zach, appreciate it. We'll continue to, if you got anything else fired into the newsroom and everything.
Absolutely.
Be careful out there, man. See you soon.
Will do. All right, thanks, Ben.
All right. All right, so there we have it. Grant's Lounge apparently being addressed from what I can see from 2 different angles, and of course we'll verify that. But it looks like that corner of that cornice work right there probably had, if you've ever been on the top of these buildings, they almost all have these little pointy lightning rods up there just for this purpose, is to catch that and divert it away from the inside of the building. So it sounds like maybe it did its job, but it blew the corner off of those, with those bricks being thrown pretty good distance, according to Zach out there. So don't see any flames. Looks like they're trying to get everything under control there. And of course, we'll have more on that coming up on our late news and of course on our website. On Facebook, we'll try to get out as much information as we can, as quickly as we can on that. So just know crews are working on that. So back to the weather situation, just to button this up, it looks like all the storms have made their way through. If you are in Lawrence County, Washington, still parts of Washington, Johnson, Lawrence County, Wilcox County, I know this looks like, wow, there's a lot of heavy rain still with some lightning. There's no warning for that. Dodge, all these places look to stay on track to just have significant weather advisories, which is what we're seeing right now, which means it's below severe limits. Let's see. From Steve Nelson himself, our friend at the National Weather Service, starting to wind down. Hopefully storms will be out soon. Skywarn WeatherNet is standing down, and I'm going home. Thanks for everyone's help today. Really appreciate those reports. So when Steve's going home, we're all going home. So thank you for your time, and be safe tonight. Of course, if you have any power lines down, don't get around all that stuff and everything. And we'll have more coming up on a late edition, I believe, of the 11 o'clock show tonight after the football game. All right, we'll see you.